Xbox On. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast with one host about one console, Xbox. I'm said host Jesse DeRosa, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest Xbox news for the week of July 3rd, 2025, including notable figures from Xbox history comment on the brand's future viability, Halo Studios is teasing a new Halo announcement coming soon, and more. On This Week in Xbox History, in the year 2005, 20 years ago, Conquer Live and Reloaded was released in Japan for the original Xbox. Conquer's Live and Reloaded, I don't know why, this one shocks me that they haven't tried to... I know this is a remake of the N64 version, but you might as well just ignore that version. I don't really understand why they never tried to, remake this or do some kind of revisit to this series. I just feel like... Conquer would do so well in the era of like Deadpool, in the era where like your average adult has like at least 2 tattoos and everyone's got like a raunchy sense of humor. I just feel like Conquer is so meant for the Xbox because Nintendo is safe, it's E-rated, it's family friendly. PlayStation is, everything. They got stuff for kids, stuff for adults, stuff for everyone in between. It's the more cinematic movie quality like platform. I feel like Xbox can kind of bleed into both worlds. They're more gameplay focused like Nintendo, but they're more mature like Sony. And I just feel like having some kind of platform mascot, looks cute and friendly, but has a Deadpool sense of humor game would just do so well for the brand today. I don't know. Maybe it just has to do with the fact that platformers are kind of dead unless your name is like Mario, but that's not really true. I mean, didn't Astrobot just prove that? I don't know. I don't know how you do it. I just feel like there's so much potential with the Conquer IP, and it's weird that Xbox has just sat on it forever, but that's what they've done with a lot of their IP, isn't it? Just sat on it forever. Even the ones in development, they're just sitting on, right? Where are you at? State of Decay 3? That's what I fucking thought. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Xbox On podcast. It's me, it's Jesse, it's your host. It's the only guy who ever does the podcast. I don't know why the co-hosts never show up these days, those fucking lazy mooches. But, you guys, we got a notable game release this week I want to let you all know about. And you know what? I keep wanting to say it's a part of Game Pass, but it's a free-to-play game, so it doesn't matter. You don't need Game Pass. It's just free-to-play. Mecha Break. Now, I don't remember where Xbox first showed this. Where was this? I don't remember what event it was. But Mecha Break looks... good. It's developed / published by Amazing Season, spelled Seasun. Haha. And it's, I don't know, I think it's probably some Chinese developer, but I don't know. It's a free-to-play mech game. And actually, let me look that up because now I need to know. Let's look these guys up. Amazing Season. I bet this is like some mobile game developer owned by Tencent. You want to fucking bet? I'm not going to find that out on their website. Don't look at that. They have an office in California, and then they have like 3 other offices in various parts of China. And I don't know. They're probably owned by, here we go. Amazing Season Games is Kingsoft Corporation's gaming subsidiary and one of the oldest gaming companies in China. Kingsoft Season's parent company is a publicly traded Hong Kong stock exchange. Okay, never mind. So it's not Tencent. I was wrong, I guess. Although I wouldn't be surprised if like NetEase or Tencent owns Kingsoft and they just intentionally... It doesn't matter. The game looks cool. I like mech games. It's a free-to-play multiplayer mech blasting game. And I downloaded it and it comes out... I think it comes out today, the day I'm recording this, on Tuesday, July 1st. And by the time you're listening to this on July 3rd, it will have been out for 48 hours. So go ahead, jump on in, go customize and run around with your mech and fly and blast stuff and blow shit up. I'm sure it's maybe fun. I don't know. I'm gonna check this out this weekend. But that is Mecha Break. It is the only notable game release to go over this week. You guys, I just touched on it, but I want to clarify something. I am having to record the podcast a day early. I have a work function on Wednesday that is causing me to need to record on Tuesday night instead of Wednesday night. So the reason I bring that up is, as always, when this kind of thing happens, I'm just protecting myself. If something happens on Wednesday, the podcast goes live Thursday. That's why it's not there. That's why, Phil Spencer comes out and he says, I actually have never played a game, and here's why. And he holds up his hands, and it turns out he's got 2 left hands and no right hand. He goes, it's really hard for me to video game when I have 2 left hands. Even the Xbox adaptive controller can't help with these freakish hands I have. And then we don't talk about it on the podcast. Well, now you know why. And actually, the silliness aside, the main reason why it's worth mentioning this is because the rumor has been, and not that I'm anticipating this, I hope it's wrong, I hope it doesn't happen, but the rumor has been that sometime this week there's going to be a massive set of layoffs at Microsoft, heavily affecting teams at Xbox. And so if that happens on Wednesday, obviously that would be the big news of the week, unfortunately. So, as of now, as of Tuesday, knock on wood, hasn't happened yet. The announcement hasn't come. Hopefully it doesn't come. Hopefully, much like Kamala Harris says to Donald Trump, do not come. But Donald Trump says in response to Kamala Harris, I'm going to come. So hopefully this round of layoffs does not come. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Xbox On podcast. It's another one of those weeks. I don't know why we've been getting so much of this lately, where it's like 1 week, it's like, here's 3 weeks of news crammed into 1 week. And then the next week is like, it's a slow news week. And then the next week is like, here's 5 weeks of news. And then the next 2 weeks are slow. It's that again. So last week had a pretty hefty load of news to get through, a hot, steamy pile of news to get through. And this week we're kind of back to a slower roll of news. Although I am very excited to get into the news we do have to talk about, because we got these quotes and opinions from former notable members from Xbox, and I think their opinions and insight and interpretation of what's going on at Team Xbox today, it's so, I don't know, we'll get into it. It's just, I don't know what people are bitching about. I don't know what Xbox fans are getting so defensive about. I don't know why people are making such a big stink out of this. Like, it seems like what's going on is pretty cut and dry, yet there was like a war to be waged on the internet. And I just feel like these quotes all but kind of affirm the thing that is plain as day, but just people aren't talking about it. But anyway, we'll get into all that. So yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll just kick off this week with our news stories. No mildly amusing into main news, into small news. We'll just do news stories. So we'll kick off with the one that has the most potential to break my heart, and it's Halo related. So you guys, Halo Studios, formerly known as 343, will premiere another look at the future of the Halo franchise at the World Championship event in October. The Halo World Championship event takes place every year, and I think it's always October, right? But this is from VGC. At last year's Halo World Championship, the developer formerly known as 343 announced its rebranding, as well as that it was working on multiple Halo games being developed in Unreal Engine 5. A teaser video was shown to attendees showing various Halo-themed locations running in Unreal, with the studio stressing that the footage wasn't a game, but a glimpse into what they might be able to achieve using this engine. Now, a new blog post from Halo Studios suggests that they will show more of what they've been cooking on the next Halo World Championship, which takes place in Seattle on October 24th, ahead of the franchise's 25th anniversary next year. Quote, over the past few weeks, there's been a fair amount of speculation about when and where more details will emerge about any of the multiple Halo projects Halo Studios is actively working on. We don't usually comment on such matters, but this time we want to enter the chat to share a little more perspective for Halo fans who might be on the fence about whether or not to attend this year's event. They continue, last year at Halo World Championship, we premiered A New Dawn, where we talked about the switch to Unreal Engine, gave you a behind-the-scenes look at Project Foundry, and debuted our evolution of Halo Studios as we enter a new chapter for Halo. For us, A New Dawn was just the beginning. At this year's Halo World Championship, we look forward to continuing the conversation. Speculation is always fun, but if you want an official scoop on what Halo Studios has been working on, you won't want to miss this year's Halo World Championship. We really hope you join us in Seattle this October. All right, that just, first of all, I just want to say, this announcement just screams interest and attendance and sales for Halo World Championship look very anemic this year. Please fucking go. We will talk about a new video game if you come, please. So that, first of all, that's how that reads to me, which I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to that, because I mean, what's going on in the world of Halo? Every Halo fan is down in the dumps. The only game they have really going on is Halo Infinite. People are really like fed up and pissed off and burnt by Halo Infinite. And it's just been so long since Halo Infinite has released, and so long since anything substantial has happened in the Halo universe, that it's just like, I don't know, I feel like not only do general audiences currently not give a shit about Halo, but your passionate, hardcore, once very large fan base is probably feeling very burnt and depleted at this point in time. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're just looking at the numbers and like, wow, there's like no fucking interest in this event this year. We're going to have to pair it with some kind of announcement to really spark, enthusiasm and some conversation surrounding this thing. And that's where this announcement came from. It is also true that there has just been an uptick in negative Halo sentiment in the weeks following the Xbox showcase, because it's just like, what fucking gives? Where are we now? I mean, and this stuff's really small and anecdotal, so I can't imagine that this announcement was made in particular response to the stuff I'm talking about now. But it just seems like a lot of Halo YouTubers and Halo influencers and Xbox people are very down in the dumps and have a lot of negative stuff to say about Halo, because it's just not a great time. They rebranded. They got this stupid new name with a stupid new logo. The series is an absolute mess. The story to Halo 5 has been completely botched by Halo Infinite. And then the story to Halo Infinite was completely botched by a fucking book that no one will ever read. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just, Halo is so far removed from what it once was. And it's in such a bad place right now that I just think that they need to do something to kind of bolster or salvage what they have of Halo that is this ongoing thing, this forced esport, this dwindling feign interest in what's left of Halo Infinite. And I don't mean to be so negative. Like I say, as someone who absolutely loves Halo. Halo is like one of my all-time favorite things of forever. And it just breaks my heart, but we got to be honest about it. Halo's just not in a great place. So I suspect this is them saying, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, whatever, remastered from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5, coming to PlayStation 5. It's unfortunate that we're going to celebrate next year 25 years of Xbox and Halo by remaking Halo for PlayStation. I mean, that's like a huge fucking whack to the face with a dick. It's like, can you imagine if Nintendo was like, oh, we're celebrating, what is it? Mario's celebrating his 40th, I think it's 40th anniversary this year, actually. Can you imagine if Nintendo's like, we're celebrating 40 years of Mario by bringing Super Mario Brothers to the Xbox 360? It's like, wait, what are you doing, man? It just, I get it. It's in line with Xbox's current approach to how they handle their IP and their properties, but it is, in my opinion, very unfortunate and very despondent kind of energy to know that we are entering the 25th anniversary, the celebration of Xbox and Halo, by performing the ultimate capitulation, which is we're foregoing the Halo engine, we're foregoing the Xbox hardware, we're foregoing the number one Xbox console exclusive of all time, and just fucking giving you all the shit the internet bitches about, putting on a PlayStation. We're making it on Unreal Engine 5. The Halo universe has been so fucking botched. We'll just remake the first game because God knows we can't carry out the franchise with any future installments. So here you go. Here's a Halo remake for your goddamn PlayStation because God knows you don't have an Xbox. Leave us the fuck alone. And I feel like that's what they're going to tease. And it's going to be, it'll be exciting. It'll be notable end of an era kind of thing when we see this. But at the same time, it's just so kind of sad to watch. I don't know. Not sad in like, oh my God, somebody do something kind of way. But, just sad in like maybe more in a pathetic way. And I don't mean to be so negative. It's just I don't have any positive feelings about anything surrounding Halo right now. And quite frankly, just Xbox on the whole has me a little bit disappointed. It's not just that the Xbox showcase from a few weeks ago wasn't the best one they've done recently. It has really nothing to do with that. If all in all, I thought the showcase was fine. It was a little weird that some games were conspicuously missing. But aside from that, like I thought it was a decent showing, but this mounting cycle of hardware announcements that are not Xboxes but have Xbox logos on them, paired with just this onslaught of Xbox games coming to PlayStation while people are fucking game breaking, glitching, stress testing Gears of War on PS5, just has me in a weird headspace where it's like, I gotta be honest, man, I don't mean to sound like a console warrior. It's not that I don't want people to have access to games. It's great that PlayStation players are gonna be able to play more Xbox games, but there's just something really sad about the Xbox ecosystem right now. And it's such a weird time because we're about to celebrate 25 years of Xbox. We have so many great games coming to Game Pass this year. So many great Xbox games that come out this year are already so far between. Doom and not Outer Worlds 2. That will be one, hopefully. But Doom and Avowed and Towerborn and just all these games, South of Midnight, all these games that we've gotten so far. It should be such a celebratory, great year for Xbox, but it just feels it feels, I don't know, it's just sad. It feels like we're all here holding on to something that died a while ago. And Xbox is lying to us. They're pissing on our head and telling us it's raining by saying, oh, yeah, we're going to make more hardware. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you will make more hardware, but like, to what end will you make more hardware, Xbox? I don't know. I'm not in the most positive headspace, but I say this as someone who is, I'm ride or die with Xbox. I'm there until the end. So I hope whatever they show for Halo, assuming it's this Halo Combat Evolved remake, I hope it at least looks good. I'm sure it will look fine. Combat Evolved is my least favorite Halo game by like a lot, so it is the one that's hardest for me to get excited about. They could literally remake any other Halo game and I would be more excited about it than this one, although I totally understand why they're doing this. But yeah, man, it's just like you have so much story that you're just sitting on and completely wasting, and here you are just spending more time remaking Halo 1 when it's like games take like 5 to 8 years to make. What are you doing, man? Halo 5 was 10 years ago. Oh my God, this October will be 10 years since Halo 5, and we're still waiting for the continuation of that story. Although I should say, I'm still waiting for the continuation of that story. It seems like no one really gives a shit anymore about that. But anyway, it's just, all right, go fucking make your Halo 1 remake and ignore the Gears 5 cliffhanger ending by making a Gears of War prequel. Just fucking screw continuity, screw storytelling, just fucking go nuts. Try to capture that 360 nostalgia while you stab yourself in the back by putting all your games on PlayStation. See how that goes for you. But anyway, that's where we are, unfortunately, in the world of Halo. Again, not to be too negative, but I think it has to get a little sadder before it gets good, because next up we have not one but two instances this past week where notable people from Xbox's past have spoken out about Xbox's current strategy, whether it's with their software or their hardware, and kind of like this confusing message they are no doubt sending to their base. And I think it's really interesting, some of these quotes. This first one I'll start with is the one that really caught my attention. So the write-up comes from VGC, and it's former Xbox Game Studios employee Laura Fryer. So one of the founding members of Xbox team has questioned Microsoft's multi-platform gaming strategy and said that she believes that the Xbox hardware business is effectively dead. The upcoming ROG Ally hints at the potential direction of travel for Xbox as a brand, since it runs Windows and has effectively a portable PC that can even run games purchased from external stores like Steam. The handheld is a subject of the latest video from Laura Fryer, one of Microsoft Gaming's first employees, who now creates YouTube videos commenting on issues in the games industry. During her lengthy Microsoft career, Fryer shipped numerous games as a producer, including the original Gears of War, and was the director of the Xbox Advanced Technology Group. After leaving Microsoft in the late 2000s, she was the general manager at WB Games in Seattle and later Epic Games Seattle. Fryer's latest video ponders the future of Microsoft's Xbox business, with the platform holder championing this new cross-platform strategy under the Xbox Anywhere marketing, and explains why she's concerned it could represent the start of a slow exit from the gaming hardware business for Microsoft. In this video, Fryer calls the Xbox Anywhere message just marketing and style with no substance, and says that she believes the ROG Xbox Ally, and essentially one of Asus's portable PCs rebranded, offers little attraction to consumers. She says, quote, "Obviously, as one of the founding members of Xbox team, I'm not pleased with where things are today. I don't love watching all the value I helped create slowly get eroded away. I'm sad because from my perspective, it looks like Xbox has no desire or literally can't ship hardware anymore. So this ROG Ally partnership is all about a slow exit from hardware business completely. Personally, I think Xbox hardware is dead. The plan appears to just drive everyone to Game Pass, and let's be clear, it has a lot of value. I think that might be why they decide to charge $80 for Outer Worlds 2. And here's the thing, maybe it will work. Xbox has a deep portfolio. The remake of Oblivion was an obvious huge success, and they can continue to outsource that work external companies and make a lot of money releasing older games from an era where Xbox knew how to build them. But why? What is their long-term plan? Where are the new hits? And when will people care? What will make people care about what Xbox has to say in 25 years? I was excited to see Clockwork Revolution, the showcase, but will something like that be enough? Do they have more? Next year marks the 25th anniversary of Xbox, and I'm sure that they will have some big announcements and plans honoring the milestone. Maybe next year is the year. Maybe next year is the year that the fog will clear and the rest of us will see the beauty in the latest announcements. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So let's stop here, and then we'll get the second one read and kind of talk about them in conjunction a little bit. So here's the thing. First of all, I highly recommend you watch this video. Her name is Laura Fryer. She worked at Microsoft for a long time, worked at Xbox for the first decade of the brand, and worked at Microsoft for 15 years or so. And so she's an instrumental part in the early days of Xbox. And I think her insight is just really interesting. The way she tells her story and her perspective, I think it's just fascinating. So if you're interested in kind of where Xbox is headed from the perspective of someone who helped build this from the ground up, then I think this video and some of her other videos are really worth a watch. She has some interesting stuff on her channel. After I saw this story, I clicked on her YouTube page, watched a couple videos, and quickly subscribed because she's interesting. But let's talk about this. So here's the thing. I think this, just hearing her say it, kind of put the opinions I already have and have been talking about the past few weeks into a clearer perspective, which is to take this whole situation one step further and say, not only is it a little just unexciting and not quite what we're looking for when you get stuff like an Oculus headset with an Xbox logo on it, or an Asus ROG Ally with an Xbox logo on it. But also it sends a confusing message to your base. And actually, let's get into this comment we have from Cronky, because I think it actually ties in perfectly to this, where Cronky says, I worry that all these partner devices will deflate the excitement when the next actual console's announced. I think Xbox is making a mistake. And I agree with this completely. I feel like, listen, the regular consumer is already stupid, right? It's not that they're stupid, like literally. It's that they're stupid in that brands are tasked with making it abundantly clear what is different about a product and why you should care about it. A product should be so enticing on its own merits that its point should be, its value should be clear as day with minimal explanation or showcasing. And Xbox is shooting themselves in the foot by doing all these shallow partnership hardware devices, because if Xbox puts out the Xbox and then a few years later they do the Xbox 360, the market will look at it and go, oh, it's a new Xbox. Oh, it plays new games. That's cool. But then when you get into a situation where Xbox has the One X and the Pro X and the One S and the Series X and the Series 9X and the whatever and the ROG X and all this shit, it's like, okay, this is confusing naming conventions, and now I don't know the differentiating details between these products. And then you can take that even further by confusing people with hardware that is not inherently an Xbox, and by mislabeling it as an Xbox. And I know the cute little branding trick is that everything is an Xbox Anywhere, but it's just not true that the ROG Xbox Ally is an Xbox, because it just isn't. It's a Windows 11 tablet gaming portable device, just like the previous ROG Ally, and it will play your Xbox games that are Play Anywhere titles. It will play, you can stream your Game Pass library via xCloud or via, your Game Pass subscription, but you cannot play every single Xbox game. You cannot access your entire Xbox library on this device, because at the end of the day, it is a Windows-based gaming portable PC. It is not an Xbox. And what's even more offensive is this Meta Quest 3S, which is just not an Xbox. It is a Meta Quest. And the Meta Quest has the ability to stream Game Pass if you choose to use that single feature that very, 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 very few people will ever use the Meta Quest for, and that very few Meta Quest users will ever give a shit about. And so you can slap an Xbox logo and paint it black all you want, but it doesn't make it an authentic Xbox. And what's going to happen is, if you keep this up, by the time we do get to the next generation of Xbox in a year or two, you're going to take the wind out of the sail of the Xbox version 12 or whatever the fuck you want to call it, because People are going to say, well, is this some other PC device that plays some Xbox games? Or people are going to go, this name is confusing. Is this a successor to the Series X? Or is this an Xbox One? Or is this an Xbox 2? Or is this, what is this? Can this play some Xbox games? Is this a streaming stick? You're just muddying the message further. And I don't think, I'm being a little hyperbolic to make my point, but I don't think people will be that roughly confused. But especially if we enter an era where you have other OEMs making home console like Xboxes, like you can imagine something like a tower that you plug into your TV and it's a Windows 11 based gaming thing that plays Xbox and accesses Steam, so you can have basically this PC home console thing. You could imagine a company like an Asus or someone like that making something like that, like a Lenovo with a Legion device, or who knows what, HP with an Alienware device, perhaps making some kind of Xbox Play Anywhere device for the living room like that. And then that would really fuck things up. If Xbox decides to make a native Xbox handheld in the next couple of years, they're going to have to fight the uphill battle of how is this different from the ROG Xbox Ally? And if other OEMs make home consoles that are quote unquote Xboxes, Xbox is going to have to fight the battle of how is that different from an Xbox? And I just think they're making it harder on themselves. And in doing so, what they're really saying is we're okay with completely devaluing and muddying the entire image of our hardware initiative because it is failing so hard that it's might as well just let it fucking slowly die. Slowly transition the responsibility of hardware to OEM partners, force everyone onto Game Pass, and one day in the future, inevitably so, Xbox hardware will truly be dead. The Xbox platform will be about Game Pass and being a big publisher, the biggest publisher of video games out there in the market, and that will be what it means to be Xbox or to be an Xbox gamer. It will have nothing to do with the home console. It will be PlayStation, it'll be Asus, it'll be PC, it'll be Nintendo Switch, it'll be Oculus, but it won't be Xbox. It'll be Game Pass, but it won't be Xbox. It'll be a fucking Halo remake of a game that's still waiting on a conclusion to the 5th entry from 2015 and is now available on PlayStation, but it won't be an Xbox with the latest Halo game. And so, again, it's like, for now, the eating's good, right? The games this year have been great. We got some great games coming next year. It's still a great time to enjoy your Series S, to enjoy your Series X, to enjoy the immense value of Game Pass, and to enjoy the constant stream of excellent games we've been getting recently. But we can see that there is a clear and concise end to the road ahead. And it's just not worth lying to ourselves over. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying I think Xbox is lying when they tell us that there's another generation of Xbox hardware. 100% there's another generation of Xbox hardware. I fully expect that within 2 years we'll have our hands on it, and it will be the successor to the Xbox Series X, and I will be there for it day one to buy it. I'm looking forward to it. But beyond that device, I don't fucking know. And honestly, with that device, I'm expecting it to sell even more abysmal than the Series consoles. I'm expecting it to be just one of many devices Xbox tries to sell you in order to get you trapped in the Game Pass ecosystem, because it is no longer about Xbox. It's no longer about your gaming library. It is just about Game Pass, unfortunately. And we'll see if they can make it work, because Game Pass sure as hell is not profitable, and they're going to shoot their entire storefront in the face by doing this and allowing people to just play their games through Steam. But we will see what they are able to make of this, because I am very excited to see how Xbox tries to make this make sense, because up until this point still, there is no argument I have seen that makes any sense in defending what Xbox is doing as far as trying to make it a profitable business endeavor. It seems to me like they were losing bad to PlayStation, the PS4, Xbox One generation. The only opportunity they had was to totally pivot, do something entirely out of left field. They did it. It was a great idea. It hasn't worked out for them. Their hardware is taking an even bigger hit. And now that they have so many eyes on them from the Activision acquisition from investors, the only option they have is to make money off of selling the games on other platforms and try their best as a Hail Mary to make Game Pass work as a thing, even though it's currently not working as a thing. And if they have to do all this at the sacrifice of their hardware initiative, then so be it. And I think Xbox is permanently changed It will never be what it once was. And whether that's a good thing or just a different thing that's not necessarily good or bad, I don't know yet. We just have to play this waiting game. We just have to continue to enjoy the games, continue to enjoy Game Pass, wait for the next generation of hardware, which is coming. And then beyond that, we'll fucking see. I don't know. And then there's another person who commented this week, kind of criticizing Xbox's plan or their current role and holding them to the fire a little bit on it. Where, again, from VGC, former Blizzard president Mike Ibarra says that Xbox should decide what its identity should be going forward instead of trying to be a jack of all trades. Now, Mike Ibarra served in various roles at Microsoft for over 20 years, culminating in a role as corporate VP of Xbox Live and Game Pass before he became the Blizzard president for 3 years. He took to Twitter this week and gave his views on the current Xbox situation. So Mike Ibarra left Xbox in like 2020, I want to say 2021, something like that. But he said on Twitter, quote, "Tough to see Xbox confused about who it is and what it should be," Ibarra wrote. "Some great people there still. They had to figure out what needs to change and fast. I'm a big fan and always will bleed green, cheering the team on from the sidelines, but pick your lane and stick to it." When asked by a follower on Twitter what Xbox should do, Ibarra said that he felt it should focus on being a publisher rather than a console manufacturer. So he says, quote, "It's simple to me. Xbox should strive to be the world's largest publisher of entertainment. Get rid of everything else and get focused. Don't be afraid to say what you are. Embrace your lane." When asked how that aligned with Xbox's identity as a console manufacturer, Ibarra replied, "From what I see, they are no longer that. Straddling the fence is not a winning plan." And then this is how you drive it home. Because what Mike Ibarra says here, I think, is it's sobering what he says. Straddling the fence is not a winning plan. I don't know, with everything we just said, right? Cronky's comment, Laura Fryer's comments and her anecdotes from having worked there and what she's seeing now at Xbox. I just don't see how we can't read this as anything other than Microsoft has given up on the hardware. Microsoft giving up on the hardware doesn't mean Microsoft will never make more hardware. It means that they have officially given up on the hardware. Listen, man, there's a reason why Apple doesn't let other manufacturers make MacBooks and iPhones. There's a reason why Nintendo doesn't let other manufacturers make Switches. There's a reason why PlayStation doesn't let other manufacturers make PlayStations. I understand it works in PC, and we've talked about it, and it's been my theory for a while that they're going to take the PC approach, and that's great. But think about the PC. What is it? It's a Microsoft product, right? Not that personal computer, but the overwhelming majority of personal computers are dominated by Microsoft as a company. And why? The reason why is because it's not about the hardware, it's about the operating system and the software. And that is all dominated by Microsoft. Because Windows is the biggest operating system. It's bigger than Mac, it's bigger than Linux, it's bigger than Chrome OS or any of that shit. It is by far the biggest PC operating system out there in the market. And it is dominated with Microsoft services like OneDrive and Word and fucking Excel and Outlook and all these fucking apps, right? And that is how Microsoft dominates the PC market. It is polar opposite to how Apple runs their personal computer business, where Apple focuses on controlling the whole stack. They do the hardware, they do the software. If you want a Macintosh, if you want to run Mac OS, you have to be fully on board with everything Apple, just like how PlayStation and Nintendo do it, right? But Xbox is going the route of, we don't give a shit about the hardware. Sure, maybe we'll throw you a Surface device from time to time, every now and then. But that's not the bread and butter. We want to sell you a Windows device so that you can pay for a Windows license, so you can pay for a subscription to Microsoft 365, so that your business can run its program, conduct itself through Microsoft services, so that you can use Azure cloud technology, so you can use Copilot AI technology, so that you can use Outlook for your email clients, so you can use Teams to conduct your interviews and your meetings through your business. And that is how Microsoft wins, is by getting you trapped in the Windows ecosystem. And that's what they're trying to do here. They said, fuck the hardware. We want to get you on Game Pass. And if you won't get on Game Pass, we'll make money off you on PlayStation, where you can buy our games for $80. The unfortunate thing is I just don't know how much longer they'll be able to get away with making consoles. I know we'll get another generation, but what about in 10 years from now? I don't know about that. And honestly, I'm just really butthurt that they were like, yeah, we're going to make a handheld. And then they didn't. Instead, we got this ROG Ally thing. So Mikey Barr kind of calling him out, saying, listen, just admit it. At this point, the only thing you're doing that's bringing money to the table is you're publishing all your games on all the platforms. You're a games publisher. The hardware is failing left and right, and you're announcing new hardware partnerships with other manufacturers. You're not a hardware manufacturer. You're a publisher. Admit it. So you got Mikey Barr saying, just embrace what you've become. And you got Laura Fryer saying, I don't see how this hardware business is alive beyond where we're at. And it's hard to see this thing I helped build get destroyed by Microsoft that clearly is shifting directions and is really speaking out of both sides of their mouth about it. And her video is excellent because she talks about all the hypocrisies, the things Xbox says they're doing 1 minute and then what they actually do the next minute. And this is, I mean, dude, it was like 3-4 years ago. It was all about, we're acquiring studios so that we can bring more exclusive games to Xbox. We'll make Xbox the best place to play games. And then like within like fucking months, it's just like, yeah, everything, your toaster's an Xbox. Fuck you. Hairdryer, it's an Xbox. Like, whatever, man. So again, I'm not trying to say the sky is falling, sell your Xbox. I'm just reiterating that Xbox, as we know it, has officially changed, and there is no denying that Xbox hardware is coming to an end. I'm sure most video game hardware is coming to an end at some point. It's just Xbox is definitely the first domino that fell in this whole situation, and we're going to see things be, I mean, it's already very different. This generation's been, when you look back on where we've come since 2020, I mean, I think most people, back then, 5 years ago, wouldn't even recognize where we are today. It's just so much has changed. But I think we're about to see a whole lot more change in the coming years, and it's going to get to a point eventually someday where gaming as a medium is just going to be almost unrecognizable in terms of how people buy and access games, interface with games, where they play them, how they, everything about it. We're in an inflection point, and Xbox is one of the first giants to fall in this, or not fall. I mean, it could just be an evolution, but from, the perspective of someone who grew up with video game hardware generations, this feels like the fall of the Roman Empire to me. So we'll just continue to monitor it. But I appreciate the candidness from these former Xbox people who are just like, bro, stop talking about it both sides of your mouth. Admit the reality of where we are and stop trying to slap stickers on other people's fucking products. Stop putting stickers on dildos and be like, oh no, it's an Xbox. Trust me, it's an Xbox. Look, it's Laser Suit Larry. It's not an Xbox, dude. Fucking stop being so weird, you little Xbox freaks. But anyway, let's talk about some news that's positive for people who like basketball. EA Sports has teased that basketball will be returning to its lineup with college basketball game. The official EA Sports account on Twitter posted an image of a basketball with the EA Sports logo on it that says, "Bring the Madness." EA released its first college basketball game, NCAA March Madness, in '98 on the original PlayStation back in 1998. It was originally followed by an annual release until it ended with NCAA Basketball 10, which was released in November of '09 on the Xbox 360. Using the phrase "Bring the Madness" implies the returning game will once again have the March Madness name instead of the NCAA basketball game name used for the last couple of games in the series, but this is by no means confirmed. The publisher could instead call the game EA Sports College Basketball to align with its popular EA Sports College Football series. College sports aside, EA hasn't released any basketball games over the past 7 years. The publisher used to enjoy success by releasing annual releases in the NBA Live series, from the original NBA Live 95 all the way up to NBA Live 10. After a hiatus, the series returned with NBA Live 14. In 2015, 16, 18, and 19 saw additions before NBA Live 20 was canceled. As such, the basketball game EA has released to date was the last one was NBA Live 19, which was released in September 2018. So this would be a huge thing because, I mean, NBA 2K is so ubiquitous at this point. It's like this would be huge to have a competitor, and the only way to compete is to do college sports because, I mean, what else are you gonna do? But I mean, that's not the I don't know if that's the route they're taking, if it's going to be NBA, NCAA, some combination. I don't know, because I'll be honest, when it comes to the major sports games, basketball is where I'm the least versed, and I'm pretty unversed in all these franchises, but particularly this one. But obviously this is a huge deal. Basketball is a massive sport. NBA 2K is one of the biggest games released every year, and the fact that they've just ceded all that ground to 2K, I mean, EA has had a massive success bringing back college football, and I think they're probably looking at that and saying, okay, it's time to come back to basketball. We got to figure out a way to be in this space. We can't let all this ground up, to our competitor, especially in a time where EA is kind of falling short in some other categories and needs another kind of surefire hit to help pad the books as they've experienced layoffs and other projects that haven't been as successful lately. So I think this is kind of an easy layup for them to try, pun intended, to try and bring something that's a surefire financial success into the fold, while also giving fans something to look forward to. I got nothing else to say on this because I'm just not a basketball guy, so a basketball fan, a basketball guy, a guy of fans, a fan of guys, just not, into the basketball. So. But excited for those who this is meaningful to. I know last year the college football people were flipping out over that. And so hopefully this is something that sparks a lot of excitement for people as well. And NBA, there was some other thing, like an NBA Twitter account that was also teasing this. So this seems like imminent, like we're going to get some kind of confirmation. So that's exciting. All right, let's talk about FBC Firebreak very briefly. Developer Remedy has said that there's a lot of work to do, but the game has passed a million players. The game was released on June 17th. It was available on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass, and PlayStation Plus on day one. The Alan Wake 2 studio confirmed on social media that 1 million players have now played FBC Firebreak, but they acknowledge there's still a lot of improvement to do. They said the studio, this is a significant milestone. Thank you so much. We still have a lot of work to do, but we're super motivated about it. We have a lot of exciting things cooking for Firebreak players. More about that soon. So apparently, according to Steam DBA or Steam DB or whatever, there was only like 1,000 or 2,000 players playing it at like most. And so they're saying that the majority of these players must have been PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass players just kind of giving it a try because, hey, it's a new thing that's released, so let's give it a go. But I guess the assumption is that this game got a lot of impressions at first, but is not very sticky and is not retaining much of a player base. And so that's kind of the concern. So I wonder if that's what Remedy's talking about, is that there's lots of work to do, which is that we got this game in front of a decent number of people's faces, but unfortunately not enough people are sticking with it. And so I think it sounds like this game's probably a big failure. I kind of suspected that would be the case. I don't wish that on them. I like this game decently enough. I think it's okay. But I'm getting the feeling that it's not doing so well for them. So unfortunately, they're going to have to get back to work on Control 2 and hopefully, continue to work on what they're good at. I that's my assumption, but who knows? Maybe this game has a comeback story, or it's doing better than this reading between the lines leads on. All right, guys, our last one here is just our Game Pass updates for the month. So new month, new Game Pass games to look forward to. So available now, if you're on Game Pass Ultimate, you got Little Nightmares 2, you got Rise of the Tomb Raider, you got Legends of Mana and Trials of Mana. Ultimate Chicken Horse is also now out on Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass Standard and PC Game Pass. But coming soon, The Ascent returns to Game Pass. This time it will be in Standard and Ultimate. Minami Lane comes to Cloud Console and PC on July 8th for Ultimate and PC players. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, of course, is a Day 1 Game Pass game on July 11th that comes out. So look forward to that if you're an Ultimate or PC subscriber. And then lastly, High on Life makes its return to Game Pass on July 15th for Ultimate, Standard, and PC subscribers. So lots of good stuff there. Definitely, of course, some highlights. Little Nightmares 2 in anticipation of Little Nightmares 3. We've been getting the Tomb Raider games lately, so the fact that Rise of the Tomb Raider is there is no surprise. Trials and Legends of Mana are pretty notable games. The Ascent is a game I really wanted to get into when it first came out. This will maybe be a good excuse to give it another go. And then, of course, Tony Hawk being the huge one here. And then High on Life being a way to cash in on that hype from the second game just getting announced. But it's not all good news. Unfortunately, there are some games leaving the service. So on July 15th, in just a few weeks here, the following titles will leave Game Pass: Flock, Miami Definitive Edition, just in time for Miami, the old country, Magical Delicacy, Tichia, The Callisto Protocol, and The Case of Golden Idol will all leave Game Pass. So give them a go now or forever hold your peace. You guys, that's going to do it for all of our news this week. Let's just actually hop in. It's kind of a short news week, so let's just keep it going. I don't think we need to take a break. let's just hop into the games I've been playing this week and talk about, what video games we've been playing. But before I can tell you about the games I've been playing this week, guys, I first got to tell you what it is I've been eating. And I'm excited about this one, you guys. We're about 1 week into one of my favorite events that takes place every summer. And we got about 3 more weeks before it ends. And that event is, did you guess it? I'm sure you did. It's Hoagie Fest. Yeah, Hoagie Fest is back at Wawa. So if you're in, I don't know, fucking Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, one of the few states that has Wawa, it is a great time to be alive because Hoagie Fest is just such a special time of year. Hoagie Fest, for those who don't know, Wawa, popular convenience store from Pennsylvania that is one of the few great things that those motherfuckers brought down with them when they invaded the state of Florida. It's a wonderful convenience store, and it's open 24/7, and they have pretty darn good food. And by food, I mean sandwiches. You can get subs, sandwiches, ciabatta rolls, rice bowls, whatever. Really, you go there for the subs. That's like what it's all about. And they're pretty good. Back in the day, they used to be like $5, but now because, Obama, everything's like $8-9. But Hoagie Fest is a special thing they do every summer where all hoagies are either $5 or $6. And they have like an expanded menu, and it's just awesome. It's a great celebration. There's tons of summer items, and everything's kind of on a fixed price. And it's just kind of a way to be like, yo, it's summer. On your way to the beach, grab a hoagie. On your way, on your break from work, grab a hoagie. On your way fucking from traffic court or from losing your child to your ex-wife, why not grab a hoagie? And so that's what I've been doing during Hoagie Fest. Usually throughout the work week, I'm a good boy. I like to make my rice and turkey and veggies, or my fucking sandwiches. I'm big on my sandwiches, my turkey and cheese sandwiches and things like that. And I bring them to work, and I'm very much that kind of guy. It's like, I'll bring my food to work. I'm not going to spend money. I'm not going to be that guy Uber eating every day to the office and just wasting fucking 50, 60, $70 a week on work lunches. I'm not that guy. I shop at Aldi. I'm very frugal. I buy the lunch meat and the bread, and I make my own sandwich, and I bring some fucking fruit or potato chips or whatever, and that's how I do it, right? But during Hoagie Fest, I become an absolute fucking tyrant. And for about a month straight, more or less, for the majority of a month, I just eat hoagies at Wawa every day at work for lunch. I just always stop by Wawa, grab usually like a turkey and Swiss. Sometimes if it's like a Friday and I'm really celebrating and I'm going naughty, get the chicken tender sub. But usually it's a turkey and Swiss. Back in the day, I used to do the Italian more, but I'm trying to avoid those, salamis and processed Italian meats that give you cancer. I'd rather have the slow burn of cured turkey meat. But yeah, I mean, dude, they're fucking great. I love a Wawa hoagie so much. Now, are they Publix sub good? No. They never were. They never will be. That's not the point, because the hoagie from Wawa is another level of convenience that Publix could never be, and they're cheaper. And that's the benefit of Wawa. It is a step in quality down from a Publix sub, but it is a step up in terms of price and convenience. And so that is why I think Publix and Wawa both deserve a seat at the table. And during Hoagie Fest, I mean, just you order on the app. You run down to the Wawa that's like a minute down the road from your office. You grab your hoagie. You run back to work. You got your fucking Pepsi Zero. You got your turkey and Swiss. You toast the whole thing. Get the cheese nice and melty. A little bit of mayo, not too much, because you're trying to live to at least 40. Some lettuce, some tomatoes, some onion, pickles. Throw it all on there. Load it up. That's a killer lunch, man. That's what's going to get you through the workday. So shout out to Hoagie Fest, shout out to Wawa. That's what I've been eating. And with that said, guys, let's talk about the games I've been playing this week. It's been the past 2 weeks. It's been this nice back and forth where I'm playing Xbox throughout the work week and then switch to exclusively on the weekends. And the reason I'm doing that is because the game I'm playing on Switch predominantly is Metroid Prime, which is very exploration, puzzle solve, think with your brain involved kind of game. And after work, I just don't have the mental capacity. So I just save it for the weekends. I'll play it on Saturday and Sunday. And then on the weekdays, I just shut my brain off after work. And I play a little bit of Black Ops 6 every night. So I'm getting back into Black Ops 6. It's nice because I was so excited for this game. And then it came out, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what elements made this be the case, but Black Ops 6 just did not hit for me the way I wanted it to. It's not a bad game by any means. In fact, I like it. It's one of the better recent Call of Duty games, but I think it's just not as good as Cold War, and it's not as good as Modern Warfare 2 from 2022. That being said, I'm enjoying playing Black Ops 6. It's good. It's been a minute since I played Call of Duty, so it feels exciting and fun. I'm a little hyped about Black Ops 7 just because I love the Black Ops 2 universe, and I want to see a continuation of that, although I'm confident they'll fuck it up somehow and make that game not good. But hey, here's hoping for the best. I hope I'm wrong there. So just a little hyped on Black Ops 7, playing some Black Ops 6 to kind of tide me over and get my fix in the meantime. And really, for the most part, I'm having a good time. My only real gripe with Black Ops 6, having not much more to say about it because, it's fucking Call of Duty. What do you want me to say? God almighty, I just wish so bad. And my girlfriend was saying this the other day. She's like, don't you wish they just had an option in Call of Duty where you could toggle it and then, other people can buy cosmetics and wear cosmetics, but you choose a toggle option that says, I don't want to see your ugly-ass cosmetics, and then everyone just looks like a military guy? Wouldn't that be so great? I'm like, yeah. That would be so fucking great if I could play Call of Duty without having to shoot the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Beavis and Butthead. But alas, here we are in a world where there are unicorns in my lobby and I have to pretend with a straight face that this is a military shooter. This is the world we live in. This is hell. But that's really it. So it's Black Ops 6 on the weekdays. And then on the weekends, it's mostly Metroid Prime. I've been getting back a little bit into Mario Kart World. I don't know. I like Mario Kart World, but it's a bite-sized game. It's like a 20 to 45 minutes here and there kind of game. But for the most part, I'm playing Metroid Prime. This is the game I'm really in. We talked about it last week. I expected I'd be done with it by now, but I just, I had a busier weekend than expected. I am at the tail end of this game. I'm following a guide pretty closely because that's how I play Metroid. I would not enjoy these games if I didn't have a guide holding my hand because I'm much too stupid to play these games by myself. I'm using a guide and I am in the very last stretch of this game. I have 2 more artifacts to collect and then I can go fight the last boss. So I'm less than an hour away from rolling credits on this game. And I just gotta say, first of all, Metroid is a game for me that I was only able to appreciate more and more as I got older, because when I was a kid, I was so insecure of this, you're not a real gamer if you use strategy guides or cheat codes. And now as an adult, I'm like, I don't fucking give a shit about that. And I will use a strategy guide in a heartbeat if it means I stay with the game and have a good time playing it. So it's to me, it's I'm just enjoying this game so much more as an adult, knowing I'm going to complete it in 10 hours because I just used a guide the whole time and enjoyed a consistent pace, while also appreciating the level design, the world building, the environmental storytelling, and the puzzle design. While I'm not cracking the puzzles, I'm appreciating the creative design of the exploration and the traversal by watching other people do it and then doing it myself. Because there are some times where I walk into a room in a Metroid game where I'm like, let me figure this out. I think I got this, and I'll do okay, and I'll be like, yeah, I feel good. But then there's sometimes I walk into a room, I'm like, I'm not even going to fucking try. And then I just watch the strategy guide real quick on YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, I would never have thought to fucking put a missile at that part of the wall because it doesn't even look like it has some cracking in it. So the fact that is where this next hidden door is, whatever, beyond me. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the game just from a gameplay standpoint. It's so fun. It stays so fun from start to finish. The combat gets a little challenging towards the end, which I don't remember this being the case, but I am getting worse at games as I get older. But yeah, man, aside from that, just Metroid Prime, just such a fantastic game. Amazing mood, amazing music. Really gets me excited for Metroid Prime 4 later this year. Probably my most anticipated game for the rest of the year, I'm thinking. Black Ops 7, Metroid Prime 4, and Outer Worlds 2, right? What am I missing? Obviously Donkey Kong, but that game comes out in a few weeks, so I'm talking about later in the year. Yeah. Dude, between Metroid Prime 4 and the fact that we're getting a new Tron movie, good year for me. Dude, it's a good year. Halo, you're disappointing us. As far as my favorite sci-fi properties go, Halo, you're breaking our hearts, but thankfully Tron and Metroid are doing the heavy lifting, so we'll get through the year, okay? But yeah, that's really it for what I've been playing. Just not too much to add. Next week, I'll probably have Metroid Prime wrapped up, although, I'm pretty sure I'll have Metroid Prime wrapped up by then. And then, what else is there? So that's Metroid Prime, and then I don't know what I'm going to play in the interim because we got a few weeks till Donkey Kong comes out. That's obviously the game I'm really excited for. But I want to just spend, I think I'm literally just going to go hog wild on Call of Duty for a couple weeks while I wait for Donkey Kong. But if I do get into a game, I thought about, should I go back and wrap up Oblivion Remaster because I didn't finish that. So that's a possible candidate. And then, of course, Tony Hawk will be out. So I'll dabble in Tony Hawk before Donkey Kong comes out. I gotta be honest. I'm excited that Tony Hawk 3 and 4 is coming, but I'm excited that it exists, but I'm not really excited about playing it. I feel like once it comes out, I'll get excited about it. But like right now, I just don't feel any like excitement leading up to it, if I'm just being entirely transparent. But I'll definitely give that a go as soon as it gets out. And then, of course, Mecha Break, I want to give that a quick try. But that's a game where I'm either going to fall down the rabbit hole with it or play for 5 minutes, so only time will tell. Anyway, that's it for what I've been playing. You guys, there's nothing else to get to except a couple comments. We already read the one from Cronky, and we only have 2 more left. So let's get into those. You know how it works. YouTube.com/Xbox on podcast. Drop a comment on the latest episode of the show. Say something nice, be an asshole, or just be, I don't know. We got fewer comments in. So I guess a lot of you guys are like, well, I was going to be an asshole, but he asked me not to be an asshole. So I guess I just won't write in. But anyway, we have 2 commenters this week. Follow up from Decoy Coctopus and, of course, Mr. Parksy, who we haven't heard from in a minute, coming back from the dead. So let's start off with Parksy. Welcome back, sir. He says, hey, Jesse. Not wrote in for a few episodes, just been busy. You're right. Who is the MetaQuest 3S aimed at? The diehard Xbox fan? The VR virgins? I did note that not only did the Xbox version come with 3 months of Game Pass and a controller, but also an Elite strap. Yes, I missed this last week. Good catch. Just combined, I think that it's well worth the extra cash for the sexy controller alone. Also, just like to add, I ordered a MetaQuest 3S Xbox version yesterday, and I'm picking it up from Argos. Yes, I am a VR virgin. VR virgin Parksy. No, I think that's awesome. Listen, I want to be clear about this. I'm very critical of this device, but I love VR. I have a MetaQuest 2, and I like it a lot. When I first got that thing, I was obsessed with it. So no disrespect whatsoever to VR by any means. I think MetaQuest is excellent. I just think this device is very much not an Xbox and very much not any kind of improvement over the MetaQuest 3 that VR fans need to freak out about. So I just feel like there was no market for this device, and that's clearly evident by the fact that they were like, oh, there's very few of them, buy now, and they were available for like a few days before they even sold out. So clearly there's not too much enthusiasm surrounding this device, but I don't think it's a bad deal. Like I'd put it this way, like if you're in the market for a MetaQuest and you happen to be an Xbox fan, yeah, buy this. For an extra $100, you get 3 months of Game Pass, a $60 controller, and an Elite strap, which you're going to want to buy anyway. I have the Elite strap on my Quest 2, and it was like $40-$50 or something. So yeah, it is good value. You're right. But it's just, you have to fall under a very, very specific category for this device to be enticing at all. And I just feel like it's just so weird, right? It's like you can go to a gas station and get hypothetically upsold on cigarettes if you buy beer, right? You could imagine like going to the store and being like, oh, if you buy the new Call of Duty, we'll give you a free bag of Doritos and a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. And you could say, I could see why that's enticing for someone. But you wouldn't expect to go to the fucking cake shop and they're like, well, if you buy this cake, if you buy this birthday cake for your son, I'll clean your gutters. It's just like, these are two things that just, where's the overlap? Like, I understand video games, but like, where is the overlap between like Xbox fans and VR virgins? You know, the Xbots and the VR virgins, the bots are virgins, no doubt, but they're virgins because they're Xbots, not because they're undesirable. The VR virgins, those are the undesirables. So I just don't see what the crossover is, you know? It's like, file your taxes and we'll send you to daycare. It's like, okay, well, if you're in one of these camps, you're probably not in the other one. So like, where's the crossover? I don't know. And I say this as an Xbox fan who owns a MetaQuest. But again, it's just like, right now, how many Xbox fans right now are in the market for a VR headset? Maybe Oculus saw this as a good way to get some people to upgrade to a 3. I don't know what Xbox saw in this deal, but here it is. Let us know how it is, Parksy, since you bought one. You know, let us know. Do you like it? How is it? What do you think? What are your thoughts about playing Game Pass in VR? I'd love to hear from you on it. I don't think people are stupid for buying this. I just think there's not enough of a market to justify making it. These are different things. There's not enough of a market to justify the existence of Windows Phone, but I'd shit my pants if I could have a Windows Phone, you know? So no judgment to you as a consumer of the product. I just don't understand how the product exists in the first place, if that makes sense. Anyway, thanks for writing in, Parksy. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Hope to hear back from you about your experiences. And then Decoy Doctopus writes in, who last week I called Decoy Coctopus because I thought it was a pretty funny name. I got heat for this one. People are like, it's a reference to Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, I thought I mentioned that last week, but I guess I didn't. I guess I'm just an idiot. But he says, you're right, Jesse. My last comment was accusatory, so I'm sorry about that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. My point was that Expedition 33 couldn't be made by just a small team. Now, for those who need a reminder, last week he was talking about, hey, you were perpetuating this idea that Expedition 33 was made by a small team of like 30 people and that no one else, when in reality, tons of support people worked on this game, blah, blah, blah. And so he's saying, my point was that Expedition 33 could not have been made by just such a small team. Also, I seem to remember that you said Mind's Eye looked like a GTA-like and that you were generally very high on it, but like you said, people are free to like those kinds of games. I just thought you'd mention this one not delivering on its promises. P.S. My name was originally a Metal Gear Solid, the greatest video game franchise of all time reference, but a lot of people call me Dr. Octopus, so either's fine with me. So it's like Metal Gear Solid meets Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man, but I'm going to call you Decoy Coctopus because I think it's a cooler name. So Doc Cock... I don't mean that in a mean way either. I just think it's a fun name to say. Thank you for writing in, Doc Cock. Yeah, no, listen, all's well. I have no problem people holding me accountable or saying that something I said sounds hypocritical or that correcting me if I said something that is an error or just simply false. By all means, I'm not a very smart person. I'm not an authority on anything we talk about on the show. I'm just a guy with passions and opinions. And so by all means, feel free to correct me or refute something I say or push back on something I say, because you're totally in the right to do that. And I welcome the back and forth, the criticism, the constructive feedback, all of it. It's all welcome. So that's fine, Decoy Coctopus. I say, let's spit in our hands, shake nice and firm, and start over again, my buddy. So thank you for writing in there. And then, yeah, as for Mind's Eye, no doubt, the game is apparently a piece of shit. People hate it. It's a buggy mess. It looks like a lot of people at that studio are about to be laid off. And it looks like this game will be on fire sale in a few months' time. So no doubt about it, Mind's Eye is a absolute bona fide flop. I still stand by what I'm saying. It looks like a GTA-like style game. Not a very good one, but a GTA slash, Saints Row style game. And to me, it looks fun. It looks like something I would pick up for $15 and play for a week or two and be like, yeah, that was a really solid 6 out of 10. It has a million problems. There were some great ideas. The execution wasn't where it needed to be. It's too bad this game couldn't have had another year in the oven because maybe it could have been a lot better, but I enjoyed my time with it. I love that kind of stuff. I have a lot of fun with 6 out of 10s. I was talking about, what was it, a year or two ago, I played Homefront: The Revolution. That game is unanimously hated, and I had a really good time playing it. I played Atlas Fallen last year. I enjoyed that game a bunch. People really were kind of mid about it, and I thought it was pretty fun. So I mean, whatever, teach their own. As you said, we're all free to like what we like. So be it. Decoy Coctopus, I hope you have a great week. Please tell us how the Xbox MetaQuest 3S is. I'm sure you're playing one. You VR virgin. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, that's it. We don't really have any other comments this week, so that's it. Barely an hour in, and we're going to wrap it up there. So thank you all for listening to the Xbox On podcast. I swear to fucking God, tomorrow while I'm at my work event, I'm waiting for the podcast to go live Thursday, Microsoft fires 8,000 people, and then Phil Spencer fucking gets into a drop pod and for some reason, instead of dropping it, it sends him and he just shoots off to another planet and escapes. I'm going to be so bummed. And then you guys are going to be like, ooh, what's Jesse got to say about this? You're going to turn on the podcast. I'm going to be like, they should make a Conquer remake. And you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jesse? What about all the Xbox employees that just got fired? And I'll be like, Dr. Coctopus. And you'll be like, this podcast sucks. And you'll rate me 1 star on Spotify. And I'll say, joke's on you. I use YouTube Music. Guys, that's it for this week's podcast. Please rate the show favorably. If you have any intentions of rating the show less than a 5-star, save yourself the time and don't rate it at all. Mow your grass, stay safe. If it's wet outside, get dry. And if you're too dry, maybe hop in the tub. But until next week, power your dreams.